can hear how useful those chords that we've been looking at with our chord chemistry. Some of these are just, let's see, so we have E. I'm thinking this lick, for example, ba, 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 ba. So, ba, 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 ba. I want to make a quick chord solo out of it. So I've got to use the 5, 3, 1, 6, 1, the old 5, 3, 1, 6, 1 melody finisher, right? So if I put this thing up here, so there's all kinds of that stuff. And then all I need to do really is, I can reharmonize it with a different voicing. And it gets really great. I just need to hit the E, the C sharp, and the A. So that's all I need to remember. And then that what is that? D, C, D, E. For those of us who don't know exactly where every note is, I'm going to find out what note that is. B, C, D, E, F, F sharp is the 6 of A major. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the old 6 of A major. Yeah, that's what helped Louis Armstrong make everyone so happy. Oh, don't forget where the melody is E, C sharp, A, F sharp. And we're just doing this quick little insert because we can. Yeah, and then we'll work on shaping that tone. We'll come a little closer to the sound hole. And we'll lean the pick forward so we have a little more surface, you know, scraping through the string at one time. And it's going to fatten up the sound a little bit more, right? Make it a little more round, which is what all those great jazzers are good at. Let's get that together, that part. And then we could also use this really cool like fifth or quintal or quartal quintal, you know, voicing with 9, 9, 10, and 12. As long as we have that melody on the top, that E, C sharp, A, and then F sharp, and then back to finish off with, you know, I don't know, Lydian, I don't know, whatever you want to finish it off with. Maybe you want to continue with blind motion, right? And you just use that dominant 7 flat 5. So we could do another one, which is like. All kinds of really cool tricks where you can use those shapes that we've been working on during our chord chemistry time. We can take some of those chords and learn how to plane them, parallel plane them across the guitar and create these beautiful, beautiful harmonic experiences. So anyway, let's jump back into it. Let's go through the rhythmic displacement. 1 E and a 2. Hey, the 1 C and a 2 C and a put on my shoesies, Mark. This is for you. Sam Sri, good morning. Shalom Sal. Sir, you know Toyo from Marcus. I do not know it, but I should go look at it and give it a good listen. Thank you for asking. Smash that like button. If you're here and you haven't done it yet, you can always smash that like button and double tap the screen again. Just to give it a look. Look at all that. Take a look at some love. And my username, that's cool. DOTC. solo type things, by the way, and with some really interesting voicings and interesting shapes. And the cool thing about guitar, and not like on piano, because if you were parallel playing those on piano, that would be a real pig scream, finding all of those different fingerings. But fortunately for guitar, it's really easy for us to parallel plane shapes. And if you have a really strong melody, such as ba 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 ba, what we just did, that's enough to hold the piece together while you're playing a chord concept around underneath the melody. Pretty fun stuff, right? Let's do that rhythmic displacement situation here, coming up right here. So I see you. Liar, 777. Good morning. Good morning. Weights and measurements for shipping today. Thanks, guys. Yeah, right on. All right, so here we go. We've got 1 E and a 2, frets 8, 10, 11, and 12. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a So instead of leaving out a tone, we're going to do something that's rhythmically challenging here. 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E. I'm going to leave out beat number 1, but I'm going to continue going through the motions here. 1 E, so it will offset what I always think about as rhythmically stable. This will help to offset what I have grown to accept and become comfortable with, feel, but it's going to help me challenge myself to engage in counting. Doing these same old patterns with a new and fresh perspective on rhythmically displacing the notes. We're going to have a little 8 notes every time we come around. 1 E, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a rest, E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a rest, E and a 4 E and a rest, E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a rest. Strokes in a row because I keep that pick hand playing going, that pick hand continue, that pick hand continue to go. Let's go ahead and just get back to stretching. We'll draw the shoulders back, so we have the shoulders going up and back. And up here, to the side, to the side again. We'll get those arms backwards out. And then goes back as far as we can. And then we'll go ahead and come back into the center and we'll grab our very nice and welcome finger stretch. I play on the electric guitar, Gibson Les Paul. Good deal. Yeah, it's a fun guitar to play, for sure. Right. So we got a nice stretch going here. I just have a question. Do any of you have days where you feel like you don't want to be doing this? Do any of you feel like you have days where you don't want to play the guitar, but you have made yourself a commitment to be there regardless, to be there for the for the long term, for the long haul? I'm sure it's very common. We surveyed a lot of students over the years, and a lot of friends, let's say guitar friends, because really we all learn from each other, I think. But Bob used to come in and he used to say, yeah, sometimes I just don't feel it. Sometimes he like get really down on himself about, I feel like I'm not going anywhere with the guitar. I feel like it's not. I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even know why the guitar. He was a bass player. I also teach bass, functional bass. But he was a guitar. I'll call him a guitar player because he's a straight kid, and he just didn't know why he was doing it. And when he sort of lost that, it's a really good idea to be sure to exercise, diet, get outside, find some way to feed your mind, feed your soul, and take a break from it, a breather, but always come back to it. And even if I feel like I don't want to get to the practice, because geez, I felt like that before too, Bob. I don't think you're the only one. And every single time I sit down with the guitar, I'm like literally always happy that I did. I don't think I've ever had a bad time playing the guitar. I don't think I've ever felt like it was a bad choice. You? I mean, can you look back and think about, remember a period where you thought, I'll play the guitar and this is miserable, put it away. I don't think I've ever had that moment. I've had two people in my past get red in the face because, he just didn't get what he wanted out of Boston or something. And he was like physically agitated. I was really worried for my own well-being. I mean, those things aside, generally speaking, the guitar, for many, is such a wonderful thing. So what does the guitar do? Let's start just kind of chilling it out a little bit and work a little bit on strum pattern. Just heading back to the old people's key, the G. get my second finger in there, it works great because I can set up my, get that really nice downstroke with the pick hand, that really nice slide from fret 2 to 4, and it sets up with your second finger, it sets up that first finger so beautifully, right? And you can decide if you want that slur to be, you know, you want to feel every note as you glance over each fret, or you want it to be a little faster, a little more slippery, or if you want to start on 2, or if you want to already be moving by the time you start with 2. So I guess what I'm trying to do is build the case, or write just a brief justification so that I can earn playing the C chord with the last 2 fingers. Because now I don't see, before I'd have to, if I wanted to get up and out of open position, I'd have to sort of, leave this, abandon this note, switch from one position to the next, then get sort of slide around. But now, if I keep that third and fourth finger, I can play all of the notes from the G major scale in that G chord. Something a little bit here, but certainly G major pentatonic scale. Difference between like being a Formula One driver and stuff. They're experts in the field. So, like, how would I know what the car actually feels like unless I've spent the time going around the track? How would I know? So that G5 chord really turns into the. Let's do that one more thing. Let's take one of those things that we talked about, planing a shape. Let's move that into the key of G and see if that can work to our advantage. So we'll start with the 5. Oh, we gotta get up here to the 5. The D in the top. D in the top. G in the top. And then, right, instead of heading back to that sort of jazzy end, maybe we just kind of punch our way through this. Part of our cross-picking technique, technical expansions. to get from here. And this is sort of how Chris Seeley might think about approaching the traditional instruments of bluegrass with his Punch Brothers band, right? So I don't know how much you have been exposed to Punch Brothers, but it's very, very highly proficient group of band of acoustic. You look at them on the stage and you would swear to God you were witnessing a bluegrass band. Totally capable of playing bluegrass, but they're sort of way outside the box, you know, and draw in repertoire from all over the world and fold it into this nice, neat little skillfully, very highly polished, delivered package. So, you know, instead of just starting out with so they were making some sort of, you know, this is the kind of stuff that I like to think about, you know. Maybe work that into a, you know, link it into a G-rock. You don't know if the second baseman's going to get it or not, right? But he always does. Maybe we do, you know, some kind of a diminished sequence. And then if these ideas are sticking, great. If not, so if they're not sticking, you've been exposed to the idea. So the little germ of the idea. It's not necessarily a good or bad idea, it's just an idea. Starting with the 5, the 3, and then the root and the 6, and then we're moving down into the world of diminished, clinically diminished. And then the band can just hammer on it. So, maybe we start with something like a sequence like that, where we start with some counterpoint. Something like that. Those are creative little things that you can build and write out and craft for yourself. And those are things that you might write out, and then you might draft those ideas, and then come back later and learn them, and then bring them, invite them into your own repertoire, your own bag of tricks, right? So that's the value of that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at let's take a look at one more thing before we just sort of get thinking about knocking for the day. We're on a mission from Dad. That's funny. Punch Brothers are awesome. Oh, Kevin knows this. Oh, when you do something you like, it automatically becomes something good. Yeah, always, you know, we're always in it for the sake of it. Both kinds of country and western. we don't always need to, while we're on a chord kick, and we're folding this into our warm-ups, let's also think about cycling. So we're thinking about cycling these things and then through diminished sequencing, and whether or not they conform to the whole step pattern or whole tune scales, or inverted diminished or diminished sequences, we can still use those sequences, those sequentially to play any chord we want through. So those are really cool ideas in my mind to help us justify getting from one key to anywhere else, almost anytime we would like, as we are playing as musicians. Yeah. Oh, we could work the rest of the time on hammer-ons too, and I noticed that's sort of, I don't have really a specialization for us today, and I feel like I'm doing way too much talking, so I'll go ahead and kind of work us through hammer-on and pull-out sequences, because I think I saw on the sheet that was bad. One E and a two, so and I'm thinking just, like a word that makes sense to use 16th note triplets through this quarter note breakdown, this quarter note grid at 60 beats per minute, so I'm thinking the same thing with fingers 2 and 4. So, C jazz. you know, I hope it was sort of a fun little session for you today, something a little bit different. And this is a representation of me being pretty light on the sleep last night, so now you know. But the idea is just to kind of focus on a chord change, whether it's strum pattern, bass note, and then chord, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, basic pattern, and then we can expand from there. Maybe work on forward and reverse rolls with, oh, so this is interesting right here. So the right hand, or the picking hand, could do just a series of forward rolls, alternate picking all the way up through the bar. Set a little string set. And then G chord, and then the same thing. And then work on perfecting that. So that way, you have a framework that we understand is happening between one chord and the next. Thanks, Kevin. We'll see you guys later, and thank you very much for being here with me today. And tomorrow morning will be another new day. Cause for celebration, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Work out those little fingers and continue our journey. All right, bye for now, and